To wig or not to wig? That is the question. And that's the reason I'm here today. That is to discuss that very important topic, which is something that we as alopecia princesses should definitely discuss, because everybody else is discussing this movement toward natural beauty. And here we are, alopecia princesses all over the world, hiding behind a wig. So where do we fit in? Dove has this campaign towards natural beauty. The black hair movement, the natural hair movement in the black community is huge, and these all represent like pivotal moments in mankind where women should feel empowered to just accept who they are and stop trying to achieve some standard of beauty that is not their own, and instead celebrate their natural self. Celebrate your curves, celebrate your brown skin, celebrate your kinky hair. And they're huge. These are huge movements, and I stand behind them 100%. However, as an alopecia princess, I don't fit in. I don't fit in. And the movements actually made me question my own level of self-confidence, because I'm coming to you guys. Ooh, sorry, I'm coming to you guys without makeup anyway. And I have to do my makeup because I'm getting ready to go out. Clearly, I'm not as self-confident as those other girls because I like my makeup. So anyway, I'm going to put my makeup on, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it all backwards, and just don't laugh at me, okay? Thanks. Okay, so I wrote some stuff down so I wouldn't like veer off. Okay, so first of all, why do I consider myself a confident person if I'm wearing a wig all the time? Am I confident? I don't know. This movement has made me really question that. So I do not know. I had to ask myself why I even chose to live out my existence as in a wig, or why I had to wear this prosthetic hair in order to feel like, you know, I am now part of a world where I can be accepted. It's a conundrum. Like, am I confident or not? I don't know. Anyway, let's look at some of the reasons why we choose to live out our existences the way we do. And are you a wig wearer, or do you go on natural? Do you rock your bald head? I don't know. I think that women who have achieved that level of comfort in their world where they feel like they don't need to wear wigs, they have reached a plateau in their lives that, I don't know, a level, they're some alien happiness. I don't know, because I have lived both in a wig and outside of a wig. I definitely gave the wig the longest and fairest chance. I think back in high school, I did not wear a wig for a little while, just like 1 week. And then after I graduated from high school, I think I started going bald-headed and hanging out in Manhattan, because I felt like here where I was, maybe people weren't knowledgeable enough about different lifestyles to accept who I was. My best friend at the time was telling me that the world wasn't ready. That girl, needless to say, she's not my best friend anymore. And she was basically just projecting her own insecurities onto me, which is something that I found lots of people do. So if you are a alopecia princess and you find that your mother or your sister or your cousins or your husbands or your boyfriends are not 100% accepting of you going out into the world as a bald woman, it could just be their own fears. It's not because they don't support you, unless of course they're like, listen, if you go bald, I don't want to walk with you, you know, then they're just assholes. But I think for the most part, people have to get past their own insecurities before they could establish relationships where they could walk down the street with you as a bald woman and feel confident enough, because people are really insecure, and not just you and not just me. Okay, so That being said, so I felt like I needed to leave later on when I was about 20 years old, and I think I had a boyfriend at the time who was just like, yeah, go bald, you know, and he would hang out in the city with me, and it was really cool. And it's funny because when I got to the city, I was very accepted by like the LGBT community. Oh, they loved me, and by like the goth community, they loved me too, and I loved them back because, you know, we as humans, we tend to go where we are accepted, and that's where I was accepted. So I hung out there, and I hung out with those people, and I did embrace, you know, the homosexual lifestyle for a little while. Not that I ever had like a real girlfriend or anything like that, but I was 100% okay with, you know, hanging with a bunch of gay people, and to this day, I'm still that way. And I'm sure that the reason why they were so accepting of me is because they also struggled with their own identity at a time, and they just love other people who are willing to go and live their lives out completely. So yeah, they were very accepting. So if you are like me and you grew up in an area where people are not that knowledgeable, or you grew up in a place probably like a working class place where people are not so much trendsetters, but they work for, oh dear, almost lost my wine. such a lush. Anyway, so then you're probably going to be less likely that person who goes out into the world as a bald person, especially if your family is not, if you were raised by blue collar workers or working class people, or people who conform, or people who are not that educated, or people who grew up around other people who are not that educated and don't know anything about things like autoimmune conditions, and you know, these people are not going to be very encouraging, unfortunately. So if you've decided to, even in that same environment, live your life out as a bald person, you are the freaking bomb. You are the bomb diggity, and I give you nothing but cred. Nothing but cred. So I'm saying that, like, all the people, most of the people who I've met who are, who live their lives out as bald women, they're usually from well-to-do families, or consider themselves gothic or LGBT, or have reached some level of self-confidence that I can't even imagine. Because when I did leave Manhattan to come back to my home in Queens, I had to take the train, and that's when all the questions would start. All the, oh my gosh, are you a survivor? Do you have cancer? Or what happened to your hair? Why are you bald? Why don't you wear a wig? You know, really, really rude and intrusive questions. And I found that when I was living my life that way, I was really, really annoyed all the time. And every night I went home frustrated that I had to do that much explaining. So I feel like my choice to live my life in a wig had a lot to do with those times. And in fact, I know that for a fact, so I don't even know what I feel like. So, yeah, I don't want you guys, if you guys ever struggle with this thought and think, oh, I hope people don't think I'm insecure because I wear a wig. You need to let them know that you wear your wig not because you're insecure, but because you don't want to slap some bitch in the face. I mean, really, you don't want to slap some rude person in the face. Even like kids will annoy the crap out of you. Honestly, I don't even know if it's the kids or the parents. It'll be like some little kid, like, mommy, she's wearing a wig. Mommy, she's a bald lady, you know. And the mother will be like, don't stare, you know. Or the mother will be like, oh, sorry, Susie, don't do this. Sorry, Susie. We apologize. Sorry, you know. And it's just like so awkward. It's just like, oh my God. Or, you know, people will come to you like, oh my gosh, my mom just passed away from cancer, and she struggled her whole life, and she never felt like she could go out, and she'll say things to you, and it's just like, oh shit, like, ugh, people are freaking crazy. You guys, you know, you don't have to say anything. That's what I want to tell people, like, dude, you didn't have to come say a word to me. You just annoyed the shit out of me. So anyway, yeah. So I think that's really ultimately what I came here to say, that whatever decision you made, I hope that you're happy with the decision. You should know that you don't have to stick to the decision. You can change your mind today. You can decide today, oh, you know what? I think I'm ready to switch it up a little bit. Today I want to wear a wig, but tomorrow I don't. Tomorrow I'm not wearing my wig to school, and on Wednesday I am. So what are you going to do about it? And oh gosh, if any of us could reach that level of confidence, and I know women who do, I wish I could shout them out by name, but I can't remember from the top of my head. They're not really close friends, but they're acquaintances that I've met online and things like that. And these women are freaking the best. But that brings me back to the question, am I a confident person? I am confident when I'm in my wig, and then when I go out in the world without it, because I must, in order for me to ever go out in the world without my wig, I must have felt like I was beautiful enough to do it and pull it off. I must have felt that way, right? So I don't think that it's a confidence thing, but when I went out there and I had to ask that many questions, it was like, oh my God, like, I'm human. Don't fucking annoy me all the time. It's, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you are ever struggling with the conundrum of, oh my God, how do I consider myself self-confident if I'm wearing a wig? Ask no more. Ask no more. You are confident, whatever you do. I mean, like, some of us are not confident. I do think that I'm somewhat confident. Probably not. I feel like I would be an absolute bitch if I lived my existence bald-headed, because I think there would come a time where I would quit answering questions and I would just look at people like, and that's when, you know, I'm somebody completely, like, I don't want to be, like, I don't want to be that girl who just has an attitude. I don't want to be her.